Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to mid-September topic time with Harrison Young. I got to tell you, the weather outside is utterly delicious. It's like 70 degrees with a slight breeze, not enough to make it really cold. This morning it was warm. Today, right now at this time of day, it's perfect, and I have an awesome show tonight. I actually have a returning guest, and I got a few underwriters before we get to her, and I got to read them off, and then we will talk to her, and it's going to be great. So we got some new ones. We got Pacini's Pizza in Middleborough. We got P&L Paintball in Bridgewater. We got Countertop Specialist, the Granite Guys in Pembroke. We got Homestead Quilting and Fabrics in Lakeville. They're a new one. We got Lakeville Gun Shop. They're a new one. We got Marva's Barber Shop in Middleborough. Lakeville Gun Shop is in Lakeville, of course. We got Adams Refurnishing and Heavy Equipment. They're in Middleborough. We got Bachan Armament Corporation in Middleborough. We got Darkside Customs Tattoo and Piercing in Middleborough. We got W. Maxim Trucking in Middleborough. They're a new one. We got Tom Auto in Middleborough. We got Middleborough Barbering in Middleborough. We got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson. We got Pembroke Radiator, a new one in Pembroke. We got the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. They're a new one. We got Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We got HPU Heating and Cooling in Kingston. And we got good old Richie's Auto Care in Hanson. Hanover, I'm sorry. Richie's Auto Care is in Hanover. Dave's Automotive is in Hanson. I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, now we will introduce my returning guest. This is Anya Card. You might remember in the summer of 2019, she came on as a model, a new mom, and I guess now she's done some really awesome projects, including some children's books she's written. And we're going to talk about those books that she has with her tonight. Anya, first of all, I want to thank you for returning to Topic Time. I know you wanted to be on it again, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me here.
Yep.
It's my pleasure to be back.
Okay, but before we even get to your books, I had something I've been thinking about since the last time I interviewed you. After my show with you the last time, you got interviewed by Billy Costa of KISS 108. Well, I want you to tell me what that was about.
So that was something that the Longwood Care, that's the organization that I run.
Okay.
We're a nonprofit organization, mental health.
Okay.
We have 3 locations. So we were invited to the show.
Okay.
So it was me and a couple of our clinicians who went on a show.
Okay, now you're a marriage counselor too.
Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So that's right. Now it's coming back to me. You're a model and a marriage counselor and an actress too. But not so much. Just
not so much.
But you also were a pageant winner, mm-hmm. and that was before our last show, mm-hmm. and that's great. So we've already covered that. We did that the last time. Now we're going to talk about your books. Now you
mm-hmm.
brought several of them. It looks like you got at least a half a dozen there. It looks like you got 7 or 8 of them.
I think I have 10 out right
10?
now. But by end of the year, I'll have about 45.
Okay,
so
well, what you have? Well, by the end of the year, you'll have 45. So mm-hmm. you're really banging them out. Mm-hmm. Tit by tat, so to speak. Okay, so then let's talk about what you have already. What I want you to do, we're basically, this is what you wanted to cover, so I want you to hold up each book. They look very beautifully illustrated. Hold them up, give them a little synopsis of each one, talk about, and I hope you give credit to your illustrators, mm-hmm. unless you're the one that does it. Then I definitely hope you give credit. And that's it. So talk about each book, and if I have any questions, I'll throw them in. So go ahead.
Awesome. So my first book that I released this year was Awesome Team versus Coronavirus.
Okay.
The idea behind this book is to create a therapeutic comic book for kids.
Okay.
To help with their anxiety.
Okay.
So as the virus started, as COVID-19 started and everything closed down,
right.
I was really, really busy working with clients, and a lot of my clients are kids and teens. So there was a lot of anxiety and worries around virus, what's going on, uncertainty. So a lot of my clients expressed those feelings of anxiety. So that's why the idea of this book came.
Okay.
I have 3 kids, and
right.
the main characters are my kids.
I got it.
So this is Anthony, Adrian, and Apollo.
Tell me about, so you have 2 boys and a girl?
3 boys.
Did you say Nicole? Oh, Nicole.
No, Apollo.
Apollo. I thought you said, I got it. I'm sorry about that. 3 sons. All right, so tell me about your illustrator. Whoever did a killer job on it.
So this illustrator is from Brazil.
Okay.
His name is Paulo Wagner.
Okay.
And he is working on my second book from this series.
Okay.
I have 9 books written in this series, so he's working the second one, and the second one will be released in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, before we get to the next mm-hmm. book, tell me about what gave you the impetus to write books? Just like the virus and the kids out there. I mean, not all the books are about that, are they?
No.
Okay. All right. I mean, had you been writing books when I interviewed you the last time, or have you started since then?
So
Have you
I
only
have
started since then?
so I have a few books, but it's more therapeutic books for parents.
Okay,
I've been writing since 2016.
okay,
So the parenting book will be coming out shortly as well.
Okay.
We just completed, so it's just under the last, in the last phase of editing, and it will be out in about a month.
okay. Do you have, now, you want to talk about your publisher and do you do all the editing yourself or do you have other people helping you?
So this I'm self-publishing it this time,
Okay,
but I do have an editor, and she's from California.
okay. That's awesome. All right, well, that's one book, Great Illustrator. Let's talk
Yep.
about another one there.
So then so another idea that I had with my kids
Okay.
was to co-write the books.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we decided
All
to
three
do,
of them? Now, the most recent child you just had before we interviewed you
Yep.
last time, right?
Yep.
So,
So
he's probably not, he's a
No.
little young to be helping you,
No,
right?
no,
Nope.
no.
Okay.
So this series is Goodnight Apollo,
Okay.
and this is about my middle son and the baby.
Okay.
So and my middle son, he is my co-writer for this series.
Wow. How
So
old
we
is he now?
He is 5.
Wow.
And so here about the authors.
Oh, wow.
So actually, I
sweet.
have my little boy.
Okay.
So the way we do the books, we sit down and we talk about the ideas.
Right. Okay.
So the first one is about kindness.
Okay.
So all books are therapeutic books for kids.
Okay.
And this series, Goodnight Apollo, is for children 3 to 7.
Okay.
This is for the younger kids.
Got it.
So the whole series, what it has in common, it has therapeutic exercise in the end.
Okay. What about talk about the exercises? What are they like?
Sure. So this particular one is, I'll show you. So this is random acts of kindness.
Okay.
So those are different ideas that kids can do
Okay.
at home to express
I
kindness.
love the pink background. That's really awesome. The pink
Thank you.
background.
And then this page, it's a blank page, so kids can actually write their own ideas.
Oh, that's
What
great.
else they can do. So this is like,
Oh yeah. I'll blank. I'm glad I asked. Wow.
so.
Well, but the only thing is, if they write their own ideas, they're going to have to buy. I mean, they can't be. I mean, let's say if you're going to buy this book, let's say somebody buys a bunch of these books for a bunch, or let's say somebody buys a book for one kid and then he wants to share it with another kid. They're going to have to buy a new book because once those ideas are written into the pages, they're in there. They can't be. You can't really mess them. You can't really erase them without messing up the pages. So you have to get more copies, right? Is that how that works?
Well, they can share,
Okay.
or you can use a pencil. There's an
It's
eraser,
like
right?
almost like a coloring book in a way.
Sure.
Okay, I get it.
So the second one in this series, so the first one is about the spoiled princess. So
Okay.
she learns about kindness. So that's the first book. The second book in this series is about Grumpy Pirate. He learns to be happy.
Okay.
So let's see. And then the exercise in the end is, this is the therapeutic exercise.
Okay.
And we have negative to positive. Like when you have the negative thoughts, they
Okay.
make you feel sad.
Right.
And then when you have good thoughts, positive thoughts, they make you feel happy.
Right.
And then also the positive affirmations for the kids.
That's awesome. Okay.
So that was
Do they
our-
draw in that one too or not?
So this is actually a different illustrator. So this series, The Goodnight Apollo, is by illustrator from Greece.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So,
You have-
and she's working on book number 8 right now from this series.
Wow.
She just sent me the 7th one about the elf, the anger and elf.
Okay. So the thing is, you're literally working online with all these people from other countries, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you never actually met them personally, right?
No, I
Okay.
never did.
Interesting. That's
My hope is maybe one day to actually travel and meet those illustrators in person and actually, take photos with the books that we produced together.
I'm just wondering, I mean, you're from the Ukraine, and by the way, just so you know, the Ukraine has never been more well represented on Topic Time. I've actually had 2 guests from the Ukraine on in the last month, and I have another one coming on next week.
Okay.
Doing my Middleborough show on the 22nd, although she was born in Israel. So that leads me to ask you, is there anyone from the Ukraine that's helping you with these books?
Yes, in fact it is. So
Okay,
this
I'm
book
glad I
is,
asked. Go for it. Tell me.
So this book, this series, so this is also a series. This one will have 5 books.
Okay.
So right now the illustrator, she's working book number 3.
She from the Ukraine?
She's from Ukraine.
She
And
is?
she lives in Ukraine right now.
Okay.
So her name is Olena.
Okay.
And so this series is made with my oldest son,
Okay.
Anthony.
Oh, all
So-
right.
This is him.
And how old
And
is he now?
He's almost 8. He's 7 right
Okay.
now. So this series of books, it's straight up therapy books.
Wow.
So this particular one
It's
talks
about parenting?
No, this is just therapy for kids.
Therapy, got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So this particular book talks about anxiety and worry.
Okay.
So it explains how it feels.
Yep.
And then gives you a lot of different exercises how to overcome anxiety.
Okay.
So this one has a lot of different things that kids can try.
Okay, cool.
So
That's awesome. Okay, and now where do you get your ideas for these? I mean, basically, you're a licensed therapist anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But until you wrote these books, you were pretty much just working with married people, and they're having difficulties, correct?
no, I always work with children. I work with
Okay.
parents.
Oh, that's right. All right, now
Parenting, yep.
I'm remembering now. Okay,
I work with couples as well. So
Right.
I'm marriage and family therapist.
right. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's no age limit to the people in your therapy groups, and obviously they don't have to necessarily be couples. They can be children as well.
Absolutely.
Or they could even be just older people by themselves, right? That aren't
Absolutely.
married. Okay, that's great. All right, what else you got there?
Okay, so this one, let me show you. So this book,
Yeah.
it's The Magical Adventures of Lola and Max.
Okay,
So this is about social skills and friendship.
who's Lola Max? Oh, Lola and Max.
Lola and Max.
Okay, these are kids. These aren't based on. Well, the Lola looks like you a little bit.
Well, I always wanted a daughter, and I would want to name her Lola. So since
Okay.
I don't have one, she's in my book.
I got you. Okay, was Max your son?
No, Max. So actually, this is
Another
Lola and
son?
Max. It's a representation of me and my husband.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So I'm the
like
positive
marriage
one.
to the Max, right?
He is Michael, but he's Max in the book.
No, I know. I'm saying marriage. That's great to the max.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good thing. I'm not. It's like using. It's a play on words.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if marriage is great to the max. His name is Michael, and that's fine. But that's why you call the max, because it's almost like a subliminal message.
Yep.
And I've seen enough shrinks and all that. And I'm not. Believe me, when I say shrink, I don't mean it in a condescending way. I think it's just a funny thing to call my therapist. And I've been seeing them for many years. I'm not seeing one currently, but if I did, I'd still say they were, shrinks. That's just, I blurted that out. I hope you're not mad at me for using that term. I just think it's cute. But all right, that's awesome. Okay, so now you got exercises in there too?
Yes.
Okay.
So this one is we go over different things that is important for social skills and friendship.
Okay.
So in this particular one, so it's pretty much they get a mission, and they have to complete the mission.
Well, hold
And
up a second. Now I'm looking at this, and it almost looks like they're wanting the big kid's a bully there.
That's not a bullet. It's a genie.
A genie! Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're right. He's got no feet. He's coming out of a lamp. I got it. I'm sorry. Okay, so listen, sometimes I'm a little slow with stuff, and that's why we ask these questions.
So
All right, it's a
he's
genie, folks, not a bully.
No, he's helping kids.
He's helping them. He's
Yep.
not. Okay, great.
He's helping the kids. So pretty much each mission has 4 different aspects, and
Okay.
then they would overcome difficulties and
Okay.
they complete the mission. So in each book, there's something they're struggling with.
All right.
And then in this particular one, Max did not think before he spoke.
Okay, just
So,
like
and-
I did a minute ago. Okay, but go on.
So this is the exercise to help kids think before they speak.
Okay,
And those are the important parts.
right.
Before you speak, you need to think, is it true, is it helpful, inspiring, necessary, and is it kind?
Right. Okay. I got it. No, that's true. I mean, those exercises could be good for adults too.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else you got there?
So, and then this one is The Epic Journey.
Okay.
So this book is for the older kids,
Okay. How old? Like teenagers?
like preteens, I would
Preteens,
say.
got it, okay.
So this one is made in the comic style. So,
Okay.
So this is about the boy
Okay.
who felt like he's not good enough.
All right. Okay. That was
but-
me one time.
Low self-esteem. So
Right.
he's pretty much he worked on finding himself and
Okay.
realizing that the power is within himself
Okay.
to be who he wants to be. And then it also has the therapeutic exercises, but this one has a little bit more. So this one explains unhelpful thinking styles for
Okay.
teenagers. And what else they can say. It has different learning to be glad, the different exercise they can practice.
Okay.
This one has, again, positive affirmation. It's okay, to make a mistake.
What does bang mean? What's that about?
So this is the comic style. So that's why they have different poof and bang and boom.
Okay.
So this is,
Well, I mean, isn't that a kind of a violent connotation? I mean,
well,
Okay.
It is what it is, but this is
But
just
it's
something.
supposed to be comical, right?
This
Okay,
is,
that's
this
fine.
is comical, so this
You're
is.
the writer. I'm just trying to get where you're at here. Okay, that's fine. All right, what else you got?
So that's pretty much it. So all these books, it's from the series of Goodnight Apollo. So I can go, if you want, I can go through each book.
Yeah.
And we can. So this one is about the pirate, the grumpy pirate.
Okay.
So that's the one I showed you before.
Right.
And this one, the third book, is about mermaid
Oh.
who was always worried. So
Okay.
it's pretty much the social anxiety piece.
Okay.
So little kids can learn about, when they're afraid to go and play with other kids, what they can do.
Okay.
So she meets the turtle, and they go through the exercise, what she can do to calm herself down
Yep.
and be able to meet other kids.
Okay.
And then
I could have used that. I was very antisocial as a child.
so this one, actually, because of the mermaid, I used the calm sea exercise.
Okay.
So in the end, they can try different things to calm themselves down. So
Listen,
that-
these are great. These are very therapeutic books. I mean, most children's books, they entertain kids, but they don't usually give them opportunities to better themselves, as yours are, as yours do. So far, have you gotten any reviews from like any of the major newspapers or TV stations on these books at all?
So I just start publishing
started
them. This
publishing,
is
okay.
this is brand new. So I did so this book. So I'm start getting nominated for different awards.
Okay.
And this book has been nominated for the Book of the Year award
Beautiful.
by Stevie. So I will find out on October 1st if we're gonna get something for
Oh,
the
good.
book.
That's only a couple of weeks off.
Yep. So
That's
I'm
amazing.
really excited. And then a couple of other books also been nominated.
Okay.
And I have this beautiful, beautiful book that's coming out in the next week.
Okay.
We worked on that book for almost 3 months now.
Okay.
And it looks like the Disney cartoon, pretty much.
It looks like what?
Disney cartoon.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
perfect. I
And-
mean, you obviously know how to reach out to children, and this is the way to do it. And it's not easy being able to not only reach out to them, but to get them to, try to better themselves. Because children are picky people. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy to convince them. You got to do it in kind of a nurturing way, and that takes a special skill, obviously, which you certainly have. All right. Well, tell me something else. Now, I noticed you were you nominated for something like best businesswoman under 40 or something recently. Or tell me about that.
So I just received the notification that I was picked as one of the honorees 40 under 40 by Boston Business Journal.
Beautiful.
So I will
For
have.
what business? For your marriage counseling?
Yep. So
Really?
we have the agency. We have 3 locations.
Okay.
And we have a full staff of clinicians.
Okay,
So
wow.
this is something that I started back in 2016.
Right.
And we grew in size, and now we serve roughly 900 families a month.
Okay. That's awesome. But I mean, you just got this award this year, right?
Yes.
Did you have it prior to this at all, in any other years since you started?
So another award that I received this year,
Yeah.
earlier in the year, it was Businesswoman of the Year award
Okay.
by the Chamber of Commerce, by the local Chamber of Commerce.
Out of which city?
Lynn.
Lynn. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
great. Swell. Okay, that's awesome. And that's also for your marriage counseling.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also for the same, and also by the same place as this book was nominated, Stevie's Award. It's the international, known award.
Right.
I got also nominated for the Woman of the Year.
Okay.
So also we'll find out in a couple of weeks, as well as the agency.
That is great. So tell me about now. I mean, are you going back to modeling at all since I last saw you?
I do a little thing here and there. To be honest, I just don't have much time.
Right.
But I will be featured in a couple of magazines this upcoming fall.
Tell me about the magazines and where are you going to be featured in them? Like on the cover?
I have just like this spread. We have a story.
Okay.
So I can do the little sneak peek of what's happening. So So what my kids did, they did a special surprise for me, and they made the coronation. So they decided to nominate me as Epic Mom
Cool.
2020.
Yeah.
So they got me everything. So we had the full photo shoot, and the judges and nominators for the award for the crown were my kids.
That is so cool. So
So-
did you have the ceremony yet, or are you going to have it?
We already had it, so it's going to be featured in the magazine.
That's awesome. And you had it in your home city?
It was in Denver's.
Denver?
Denver's, yes.
Oh, Danvers.
Yep.
Oh, great. Wow. I assume, I mean, it must have been, people must have been pretty spaced out though because of the virus, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But I bet that you must have had a bunch of people, you must have had a lot of them though, right? In attendance?
No, no, no. This is just something small. This is something that
Okay.
we did as celebration of moms.
Right.
And I was thinking to start this initiative,
Okay.
because I think every mom needs to be celebrated. Every mom is the epic mom. So this is something that we can do for Positive Parenting Initiative. This is part of for our agency,
Right.
and we'll have more information on the website.
Okay,
So
that's
how
cool.
mom can get like the crown and sash, and their family can nominate them.
Oh, that's great. Well, I nominated mine. She just turned 84 a couple of days ago.
It doesn't matter of the age, as long as she's an epic mom.
That's right. She is. That's awesome. Okay. So tell me going forward, you're working on, it sounds like you're really spending a lot of time on these books. How do you balance your time so that you can do your therapy and writing it, and make each work around the other?
Well, to be honest, I don't sleep too much. I only sleep about 5 hours each night lately because I've
Okay.
been working the books because I
Right.
still have to see all my clients, and I have 3 kids.
Right.
And now my kids went to school,
Yep.
and it's
Yeah,
online.
back in school, right? Oh, it's
They're-
online?
It's online. It's all remote. So now I'm a teacher as well because I have to
Yeah,
supervise
that's right.
my
You
kids.
are. My goodness.
So it's a lot. It's really busy. But so what I do when kids go to sleep, I usually work on the books in the
Okay.
evenings or early in the mornings if I wake up before the kids.
That's very commendable. You got a bundle energy, and at least you know how to utilize it correctly, and it's obviously
I'm-
paying off huge dividends. So now look going forward, how many more books do you think you're going to be turning out, or are you just not sure yet?
So right now I have a few more series that I'm working on.
Okay,
Some books are just one book alone, and some would be like 3 to 5 books.
okay,
So the Lola and Max, right now I'm working on my 4th book.
okay,
So I'll stop at 5 and see what happens.
okay. That's right.
So
That's
the
smart.
Goodnight Apollo series, we planned for 20 books.
Okay,
And then Awesome Team, we have 9 books. But it's not just the coronavirus, Coronavira. It will be 3 different villains, 3 different bad guys. So the second one is, so the Coronavira is the coronavirus.
right.
Right. The second villain is Mr. Perfect. He is the guy with OCD. And he doesn't like dirt, and he's the fear master. So he's the one who makes people face their fears.
Okay,
And then the third one is Lady Chameleon. She's the shapeshifter.
okay.
She brings insecurities to people.
She brings which to people?
Insecurities.
Insecurity. Okay.
Yeah, so-
you're showing the kids how to deal with these villains.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That is so cool. That's very clever. That you took you personified things that were that are bad or that are problems for people, so that you could make it easier for children to figure out how to deal with it.
And also explain, yeah.
Right.
And this is actually externalization. It's part of the narrative therapy.
Okay.
When you actually provide the persona to something, you make it more something that you can actually fight.
That's absolutely right. I mean, how it's an original idea. I mean, it's and yet it's on your part, but realistically, it goes back hundreds of years. When as long as parents were telling stories to children, I'm sure they decided to turn everyday issues into humans, so that they could make them more easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, we're under 5 minutes to go for the show. So what I want you to do, just like the last time,
Okay.
is to give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. You can start with your kids, your husband, Billy Costa, whatever, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, I just want to say hi to my kids, to Adrian and Apollo and Anthony. So Adrian really wanted to be on the show.
We'll get him on another time. We can bring him in here another day.
He was super interested. He was very upset that he couldn't come because he said, "Well,
Why
Mom,
couldn't he come?
I didn't know that I could bring him."
What's that?
I didn't think I could bring him today.
Well, maybe, yeah. Well, you know what? I didn't know. You should have asked me. Maybe we could have worked it out. But that's okay. Don't worry about it.
But
Maybe we'll get him on another day. If you want to bring him in someday, I'll interview him.
he was very excited. He said, "I wrote the books. I want to be on the show."
Yeah, I understand.
And-
Well, at least you gave him honorable mention. That's important.
Absolutely. And also, both of my kids, Anthony and Adrian, they were nominated for the youngest authors.
Wow.
So we'll see. We'll find out by the end of the year if they're actually going to get the awards.
Well,
And-
tell you what. If they do, we'll get them. We'll put them in here. We'll space them. Or we might be able to. You know what I'm thinking? I also do a show in Easton, and it's a little harder in here because there's no. We got to make sure that we're 6 feet apart, and usually we only have one guest at a time. But in Easton, we have a platform that we usually use for musical guests. So what that means is it's far enough apart so that I can sit at a desk where I do my interviewing, and they can be up in the platform talking, and I can interview them together, and they're 6 feet apart, and I'm 6 feet away from both of them. So there's no reason why we can't possibly do that down the line.
They would be excited.
So keep that in mind, and we'll and
Absolutely.
you know and talk to them, and we'll make it work. Maybe maybe early next year, maybe later this year.
Okay.
Well, again, I hope like last time. I hope you had fun with me. I hope we covered all the stuff that we wanted to cover for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, and just again, like I might have mentioned the last time, if you know anybody that's has an interesting story to tell, somebody they don't have to be famous. If they are famous, that's great too. Or trying to be famous. I'd love to interview them. You got my digits. Have them text me. We'll get them in here as a guest, or either that or one of my other locations.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Anya, as like the last time, you did a great job, and you're as clever as a whip for doing these books. And I'm wishing you the best of luck. And I expect they're going to be an incredible selection of books. That's once they're done, and my hunch is eventually you'll write 100 books and more or more.
We'll see.
I think that's how well they're going to do. They're going to sell like hotcakes, and it's going to be a great career. It's going to be a great upgrade in your career. So on that note, are you ready to wrap it up like we started it,
Yep,
as we always
absolutely.
do? All right, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. Thanks, Anya, for returning, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Here we go. Have a good one. Okay. Well, Chris, how did it sound? All right?
Sounded great.
Okay. So, Anya, what we're going to do is like we did the last time, we're going to write